Time to meet the men from the ministry. We're off for a walk in the Whitehall Wonderland with Norma, Ronald Baddiley, John Graham, and the men from the ministry, Richard Murdoch and Deryck, Guyler. British civil servants are renowned for ability, probity, loyalty, and indeed for all kinds of tea at all times of day. But ministry life isn't just a tea party. There are problems to face and puzzles to solve.
Hello, Harriages. Could you send round another dozen crossword books and 10 more jigsaw puzzles? Yes, we've almost finished the ones you sent yesterday. That's right, the General Assistance Department of the Ministry. Goodbye.
Well done, Joe. Here we are, the General Assistance Department, poised to help anyone who needs us, and we've had no work for a month.
Your clever idea with the staff magazine must have helped. I mean, getting our names in the obituary column.
Well, plus Sir Gregory being off on his fact-finding tour of Capri.
Well, let's finish off this jigsaw puzzle before the new ones come. This Tower of London's rather tricky.
Oh, glory.
Can't we just ignore it?
It might be work.
Exactly.
Well, on the other hand, it could be something important. I'd better take it, I suppose. Yeah, you get on with the job.
Okay.
General Assistance Department, Lennox Brown.
So you're there.
Oh, Sir Gregory, yes.
Got back from a tour and heard some story you were dead.
Oh. Greatly exaggerated, son. Printer's error in the staff magazine.
I have an important job for your department. I suppose you're doing nothing at the moment.
On the contrary, sir. We're working on one of London's historic buildings.
Department of the Environment, eh? That's strange. They didn't mention it. There's new things come from them.
Well, it's a bit hush-hush, sir. A lot of gaps still to be filled in.
Have you heard of Sir Hugh Jago?
No, I'm afraid I haven't. Don't know a thing about him. Never heard his name at all.
Millionaire industrialist. Died recently.
Oh, dear. We'll miss him.
Jago's left a large fortune to the government for scientific research. But there's a condition in his will. He wants a statue erected on a particular spot in Hyde Park, a place which apparently marked a turning point in his life.
Really, Sir Gregory?
Jago's special achievement should be marked in the place indicated, but environment are snowed under at the moment, so you're to handle the project.
Perhaps I could have more details, Sir Gregory.
You'll get them from Jago's solicitors. Foot, Freeman and Foot.
Looks like this solicitor's going to be late.
Perhaps they're not putting their best foot forward.
Funny business, you know, wanting a statue of yourself in Hyde Park, isn't it?
Very odd. Considering the state of most of London's statues, I'd want my statue indoors.
There's a Mr. Foot to see you, sir.
Ah, the solicitor at last. Show him in, would you, Mildred? And see if you can find a map of Hyde Park.
Righty-ho, sir. Mr. Lennox Brown and Mr. Lamb are ready to receive you, if you would care to reveal yourself.
Oh, thank you. Good morning, gentlemen. I am Grenville Foot, solicitor to the late Hugh Jago.
Really, yes. Well, I'm Lennox Brown, and this is my number two here. This is Mr. Lamb.
How do you know?
Yes. We were expecting your senior partner, Mr. Rupert Foot.
I'm afraid he was deceased some time ago.
Oh, dear. They've got one foot in the grave.
I take it you have the general picture. Sir Hugh has left £100 million for government research, provided his memorial is erected at a specified place in Hyde Park.
Yes. Well, may we know why this particular spot was so important to him?
Oh, of course. As a young man seeking his fortune in London, he had many disappointments. One day, after spending his last shilling on lunch in a park cafe, he walked dejectedly on the grass, wondering if the time had come to throw it all up.
That park food never changes.
Well, he lay down in the shade of a large oak tree to contemplate his predicament. And suddenly an acorn fell on his head. He thought about this for a moment and realized he had made a momentous discovery.
Just a moment. You're not going to say he discovered gravity?
Oh, no. He would have done, of course, but someone else had already done so. No. Hugh Jago was the first man to see the possibility of dropping explosives from the air.
Really?
But he always ascribed his success to that moment under the oak tree. And that is where he wanted his memorial.
It's to be a statue, Sir Hugh, is it?
No. He desired the portrayal of an idea.
Oh.
Hope overcoming despair.
I'll just make a note of that. Hope overcoming despair. We don't get much of that at the ministry.
Now, where exactly is this tree, Mr. Foote?
You'll find it from the directions in his will. Here is a copy of the relevant paragraph.
Oh, yes.
The memorial is to be executed by a leading sculptor and must satisfy Lady Jago, who will perform the unveiling ceremony on May the 15th, which was Sir Hugh's birthday.
Oh.
Unless all these conditions are met, the legacy is forfeit.
Oh, good Lord. Well, that only gives us 6 weeks.
Quite so. Well, perhaps I should leave you now.
Then we can get on with our planning, and you can get back to your soliciting.
Well, thank you for calling. Good day, Mr. Foote.
Oh, good day, gentlemen.
Here's the map of Hyde Park yard full, sir.
Oh, thank you, Mildred.
Yeah, you better let me do this one. I was rather good with maps in my Boy Scout days.
All right, sir. Here are the directions from Jago's will. Go on, surprise me.
Right, now, spread the map out on the desk
the idea,
and flatten it down nicely. Oh, dear, this bit won't go flat.
What?
You've left your teacup underneath, Mr. Lamb.
Silly me. Yes, there, that's better. Now, what does he say? I left the cafe by the east gate, that's here, turned right, walked for another 2 minutes. Oh, yes, according to my calculations, he finished up here. What does he say? At this point, I lay down tired and miserable. There, that's the place.
Yeah, I'm not surprised he was miserable.
Why?
He's lying in the middle of the lake.
Yes, I see this blue bit here. Well, perhaps I turned left instead of right. I'll start again.
Oh, don't bother to,
what?
please. No. It might be quicker to go down to the park and find a place for ourselves.
Oh, good idea. It's a lovely day for an outing. One, you've got Sir Hugh's instructions. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. According to this, it's that tree there. Oh, glory.
And that is why I say to you, brothers, we are being cheated. Are we going to stand by and let them grind the faces of the workers? What about our rights? The left is right. We've no rights left, right? What we want is more work and less of it. It's up to us. Stand firm and keep moving.
Oh, dear. You really think that's the tree?
Well, it must be. It's an oak, and it's where Jago said.
Yeah, what's that loony doing on his little box?
Well, we're almost at Speaker's Corner, Mildred, where everyone has the right to open his mouth and put his foot in it.
Well, there you are, brothers. We shall not be moved. Are there any questions?
Yes.
What is it, brother?
Would you mind going somewhere else?
Go somewhere else? What are you on about?
I'm afraid this spot has to be marked and measured for a new government project.
Not on your wadgy, mate. This is my pitch.
You'll have to move eventually, I'm afraid. We're having a statue put up there.
Oh, now you're not, mate. You're one of them, aren't you? The time has come for revolt, brothers, and I, for one, am revolting.
Now, look, couldn't you just move your pitch over there under that other tree?
No, I couldn't, mate. That's Temperance Fred's pitch over there. Temperance Fred. You'll see, he'll be down here, soon as the pub's closed. Now, why don't you put your statue somewhere else?
It has to be here. A famous man lay down here and was hit by an acorn.
We'd better go ahead and mark the tree, too.
Oh, no, you don't. You sure won't. Now then, what's all this? They're trying to break up the meeting, Constable. They're bowler-hatted punks.
I see. Well, I'm afraid I'll have to ask you three to move along.
Now, look, this is ridiculous, officer. We're here on a job for the Department of the Environment.
Oh, yes. And I'm the Archbishop of Manchester.
How do you do, Your Grace?
Now, come along, please. You're stopping the audience from hearing the speaker.
But there isn't any audience except us three.
That doesn't make any difference. Move along and don't give any more trouble.
Quite right, Constable. You run them in. There they go. Now then, brothers, as I was saying, there's now justice in this country. Thanks to the vicious Gestapo methods of the police, freedom of speech is suppressed.
Well, that's the nearest I've come to being run in since the moths put a hole in my bathing suit. Just by the left knee, it was.
Well, the police have a job to do, too. It was quite unnecessary for you to cling to the railing, shouting, "Give me liberty or give me death."
But what are we to do about revolting Fred?
Well, we'll pass that problem to the Department of the Environment. Mildred, send them a memo, would you? Telling them where to put their statue.
And to have the plinth in place by the end of the month.
Righty-ho, sir.
Now, our next job is to commission the statue itself. Has the Arts Council sent that list of recommended sculptors?
Oh, yes, sir.
Ah, thank you, yes. Let's have a look here. Arthur Morris, a young artist noted for his unusual models. Oh, he doesn't sound very suitable.
I think the word should be murals, one.
Very well then, Arthur Murals.
That's better. Though, mind you, a lot of these artists do lead shocking and outrageous private lives. Lucky devils.
Well, it says he's abroad till the end of the year, and so is this next fella. So they're no good.
This could be the chap for us. Stephen Klink, outstanding modern sculptor, does work of earthy candour, profound significance, and crystal clear obscurity.
Well, what does that mean?
It means he does those funny things with titchy heads and holes in the middle.
I don't know. Sounds a shifty bohemian to me. No, I prefer the sound of this next chap, you know.
Sir Rodney Cargill, sculptor of the traditional school, noted for his classic style.
Right, yes.
I think we should see them both in case one isn't available. I mean, there's no one else on the list and there's not much time.
Yes, good idea. Now, let's see. Their addresses are here. I can't say I'm looking forward to this visit, too. From his work, I'd say this fella Klink's an absolute bounder. Sort of chap who goes to bed in his underwear.
You have to make allowances for genius, one.
Well, I can't see any genius about those stone atrocities in the pictures you showed me. The only one that meant anything was the thing that looked like a vacuum cleaner.
That was mother and child at dusk.
Well, if his mother looked like that, what can you expect?
There's number 20 now. Driver, would you stop here, please?
Well, I suppose one should see how the other half lives. Though when I joined the civil service, I didn't expect to hobnob with a yob.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
We're from the ministry, Mr. Klink.
I am the butler, sir. Mr. Klink is awaiting you in the smoking room. Please come in, gentlemen.
Oh, thank you.
May I take your hats, umbrellas? This way, please.
Yes.
The gentleman from the ministry, sir.
Do sit down, gentlemen. You'll take tea, Mr.
Yes, please, Mr. Yob. Mr. Klink. My name's Lennox Brown, and this is my assistant, Mr. Lamb.
How do you do?
How do you do? Well, take a dish of tea, please.
Certainly, sir. The silver service, sir?
Oh, yes, I'm sure that'll do. Our guests won't want to stand on ceremony, Bosun Cat.
Very good, sir.
Had your letter, gentlemen. Very good of you to think of me for the Jago Memorial.
Well, it was obvious to me that you were the ideal candidate, Mr. Klink.
Thank you.
I am, of course, a great admirer of your atrocities. Your masterpieces.
Kind of you to say so. Alas, it won't be possible. Question of time, I'm afraid.
The memorial has to be unveiled on May the 15th.
So I understand. Only 6 weeks, you say.
6 weeks, yes. But, looking at your works, I wouldn't have thought they took too much time. That is, don't misunderstand me. What I mean is...
Don't apologize. You're absolutely right, Mr. Lennox Green. Or black or yellow. I do them in an afternoon, you know. Wouldn't do for my public to know that, though. So I can only produce 2 a year. My present work is the piece you see in the garden.
I like that very much.
Oh, do you really? I loathe it. Hate all this modern stuff, as a matter of fact. Still, that's what sells, you see.
But what about your magnificent mother and child at dusk?
Oh, hideous. Reminds me of a vacuum cleaner.
Mr. Clink wasn't what you expected.
Not quite, I must admit. Completely bogus, of course. For basic decency, you'll find Sir Rodney Cargill in a different class.
And Cargill must be a bit of an old fuddy-duddy. You can understand everything he does.
Staunch traditionalist, too. And a gentleman of the old school, I'll be bound.
He hasn't answered our knock. I'll try again.
5:45. Well, I expect he's setting up the cocktails. Now, this is your chance to see some really gracious living.
Oh, good.
What is it? Good afternoon. We're for... Oh, I'm sorry to catch you in your pajamas. We wanted Sir Rodney Cargill.
Well, that's me.
You're Sir Rodney Cargill? I do apologize for getting you out of bed.
It's all right. I was just going to get up and try a kipper. I'll do one for you, or have you had breakfast?
Actually, we just had tea. We're from the ministry. We've called about the Jago Memorial.
Oh, yes. Come in. Olga said there was a letter about it somewhere. Let's go in the studio. All right, Bridget, I'll see to it. Now move those dirty plates off the sofa and sit down.
Thank you. Yes. Well, we thought, that is, my assistant here thought, you might be a suitable sculptor for the Jago Memorial statue.
No, I can't be bothered at all. Oh, hello. Here's today's post.
Are you sure? I mean, there's a good fee.
The thieving swine. Look at this booze bill. Oh, Lord. Telephone accounts. Gas as well. Oh, that's very high. Sure, that'd be when Natasha tried to gas herself. Well, then, it looks like I'll have to be doing your statue after all. When's the thing to be done?
It's to be unveiled on May the 15th, and it has to depict hope overcoming despair.
All right, then.
Excuse me, sir. Mr. Foote is here with Lady Thing about tomorrow's memorial ceremony.
Oh, yes. Show them in, Mildred, yes. Two. Sit up straight.
Yes.
Put that crossword away.
Good morning, gentlemen. I don't think you've met her ladyship.
Indeed not, no. A great pleasure to meet you, madam. I'm Lennox Brown, and this is Mr. Lamb.
How do you do, Lady Thing?
I beg your pardon?
Do sit down, Lady Jago.
I wish to be sure that all arrangements are complete for the ceremony.
Yes, indeed, the arrangements. Yes, all neatly buttoned up, madam, all taken care of. That is almost, yes.
May I ask what you mean by almost? The unveiling of the statue is tomorrow, is it not?
Rest assured, the ceremony is all arranged, the seating's planned, and the plinth is in place.
Good.
Yes, good. However, there is one tiny detail not yet completed. Well, now, how shall I put it?
We haven't got the statue.
Yes. That puts it very neatly. We haven't got the statue.
You haven't got the statue, but it was clearly stipulated that it should be done by tomorrow.
The sculptor's finishing his work today, you see. Then it'll be put in place this evening, ready for tomorrow.
He needed the whole 6 weeks to do a perfect job.
Was he inspired by the project?
Oh, more than that. I'd say he was intoxicated. Well, he was last time we saw him.
I'm very glad to hear it.
The Arts Council wanted us to use someone modern, but we felt you'd prefer something instantly recognizable.
Certainly. I believe when you can't make out what a statue means, it should be banned at once in case it's something improper.
Indeed, yes.
I think that covers everything, Mr. Foote.
You're quite sure you have the exact spots as you wanted?
Yes. Oh, we had a bit of trouble getting hold of it. It was being used by one of the Hyde Park speakers.
How did you get rid of him?
The Arts Council sent him on an American lecture tour. Talking on the British way of life.
Then everything's in hand. Lady Jago, cut the tape and unveil the statue, and the legacy will go to the government.
I shall now return home and prepare my speech.
No need to bring your own scissors. We're taking the office pair.
Well, what an alarming woman, too. Kept frowning at my pelargonium, and now it's wilted.
I do hope Cargill finishes that statue in time.
Oh, he will. He knows he won't get paid if he doesn't. They'll have it installed by 6 o'clock.
I say, why don't we all stroll down to the park just after 6 and have a look at it? There it is, one. Cargill hasn't let us down.
Excellent, yes. All ready just in time.
Yeah.
Sir Gregory will be pleased.
I like the look of it, don't you?
Very striking, very striking. Just the right size and shape. What do you think, Mildred?
I wouldn't like to say until the covers come off.
We can't move the cover, can we? I mean, it's there for the unveiling ceremony.
I suppose we could just take a peek underneath. I'd like to see what hope overcoming despair looks like.
Well, I don't see why we shouldn't pull the cover off. I mean, we can put it back afterwards.
Yes, no one would know. In fact, we could rehearse tomorrow's opening ceremony.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure that we should.
Oh, come on. Bags me being lady thing.
Oh,
now,
dear me.
where's the ripcord? Ah, here we are.
Ladies and gentlemen, little did I think when I began this short speech that it would last for 2 hours. However, I now have great pleasure in unveiling this statue and naming it... Oh, good Lord.
Good grief.
Good night.
I suppose that gentleman's hope and the lady's despair, but... Who would have thought they'd be quite so... Mildred, don't look, avert your gaze.
Oh, it's all right. I have seen that kind of thing before, but never paid for by the government.
I mean, she's got absolutely no... Oh, too, this is terrible.
I suppose they're Greek gods and goddesses, but I never realized Greek gods and goddesses were quite so... had quite such...
Here. They must have been fun times to live in.
What will Lady Jago say when she sees this? Remember her words, it must give a clear message without any impropriety.
Well, it gives a clear message, all right, but she's not going to care for all for even the sparrows look amazed. Shoo that one away, Mildred. What a rude place to perch.
But what can we do? I mean, if Lady Jago sees this statue, the government can say goodbye to their 100 million.
I doubt if we could get another one done in time, and we couldn't postpone it. Lady Thing would create havoc.
Oh, yes, she'd go absolutely right. Create havoc. I've got it, too.
Yes?
That's our only hope. Quick, there are some sledgehammers in this workman's trench.
Good gracious, you mean knock it about? Sir Rodney wouldn't like that.
Never mind what Sir Rodney likes. If you are to, you can have the heavy hammer. You'll find it easier to swing.
Oh, all right, thanks.
Now, where should we start?
Well, I suggest... I hardly like... What about that bit there? Should we blindfold the gentleman first?
Silly idiot. Come on, let's get on with it.
There we go.
Right, go on.
Now then, what's all this?
Oh, Lord, look out, one. Good evening, officer.
I seem to recognize you two.
Oh, good. We're from the ministry.
Yes, last time we met, you were breaking up a meeting. This time you're breaking up a statue. Dear, oh dear. You middle-aged delinquents are worse than the young ones. I'm afraid you'll have to come along with me.
But this is serious, officer. This statue is an offence to public morals. We have to alter it before tomorrow's opening.
Let's have a closer look at that. Oh. Disgraceful. Here, give me that other sledgehammer.
Here.
Right. Thank you very much. I'll do the kind of it. We've got to get this out.
Ladies and gentlemen, little did I think when I began this short speech that it would last for 2 hours. However, I now have great pleasure in unveiling this statue and naming it... Good gracious! And naming it, for the moment at any rate, the Hugh Jago Memorial. Where are the men from the ministry? Where is Lennox Brown?
Charming speech, Lady Jago. I wish you could have spoken longer.
What is the meaning of that monstrosity? That statue is a shapeless heap.
What happened to this statue? Someone's wrecked it. I can sue you for this.
We can explain everything, Sir Cargill. J.D. Lego, if you just give us time, a week perhaps.
Excuse me, where can I find the sculptor who did this work?
It's my creation, but let me tell you...
May I congratulate you, sir, on the finest piece of modern art it's been my pleasure to see. As United Nations Cultural Counselor, I'd like to have you work on our new UNO building. Name your own fee, of course. And, Lady Jago, I greatly admire your vision in commissioning this bold and imaginative work.
Well, I'm glad it turned out the way I planned it.
If you'd both care to join me for lunch, I'm sure we'll find much to talk about.
Oh, well, thank you. Mr. Lennox Brown, I'll instruct my solicitor to proceed with the legacy.
Yes, how very gracious of you, madam. Thank you.
My car is over here, Lady Jago.
Thank you. Sir Rodney, I'm very pleased with the way you carried out my instructions.
You're very kind. Perhaps you'd like to drop in the studio for a glass of stout.
You're a very beautiful woman. Did you know that?
Oh, you flatterer. Would Saturday be all right?
Well, all's well that ends well. Lady Jago's got her memorial, Cargill gets the contract, and the government gets its money.
Yes, but what do we get?
Oh, I didn't tell you, did I? Harridge's sent up a new set of jigsaw puzzles this morning.
Really?
10 famous statues. If we have lunch quickly, we can do one this afternoon.
Oh, you are clever. I don't get
Turning to stone, as the men from the ministry were Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. Also featured were Norma, Ronald Baddiley, and John Graham. The program was written and produced by Edward Taylor. Time to meet the men from the ministry. Let's join once again in the government game with Norma, Ronald Baddiley, John Graham, and the men from the ministry, Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. Ministry men don't know the meaning of the word apathy, and indeed are often baffled by other long words. For these are men of action, alert to the problems of economic progress and rising output.
Strong and steady growth, too. That's what's needed.
I think this new plant will achieve it, but what should we do if it doesn't?
The usual. Dig it up from the window box and throw it out of the window.
Last time you did that, you hit a traffic warden.
Yes. Of course, I can't promise to do that every time.
Then let's hope this plant takes.
Excuse me, sir. Would you like to sign that memo you dictated?
Oh, yes, right, Ronald. Look, now, let's see what's... Oh, glory. Another of your misprints. I said Sir Gregory Pitkin will be there with his secretary. Look what she's written to.
What? Oh. Sir Gregory Pitkin will be there with his secret tart. Mind you, he's not far wrong.
I must say, Mildred, just lately your work has been execrable.
Well, thank you, Mr. Lennox Brown. You know, that's the first word of praise I've had all week.
I suppose we'd better get on with some work. Since we've been helping the Department of Agriculture, it's been all go, hasn't it?
Well, these farmers are so headstrong, aren't they? I mean, they'd grow colossal amounts of food if we didn't keep them in check.
And then there's these independent types who won't conform to ministry rules.
Like that chap who gave trouble with his vegetable marrows. Growing them with less than the regulation number of pips, wasn't he?
And when we told him off, he turned very nasty.
Yeah.
He started breeding marrows with the stripes going round and round. I'm not sure what the answer is.
We'll stop the tax relief on his fertilizer.
Oh, good idea. We'll drop him right in it. And then there's these farmers in Essex. They keep complaining of greenfly on their cabbages.
Better have them sprayed with insecticide.
Yes. That'll teach them to keep their mouths shut.
Good. Well, now I've solved all those problems, I'll stroll down to St. James's Park and feed the ducks.
Have you forgotten the man from the Rhubarb Marketing Board? He's coming to see us at 12:15.
Oh, dear me, the Rhubarb Marketing Board.
Yes, Mr. Rudwell Wright. Sir Gregory said that he's an important man and we've got to impress him.
here to see you, sir.
Come in, my dear sir.
Oh, thank you. Good of you to see me. I'm secretary of the Rhubarb Marketing Board, as you know.
How do you do?
I'm Lennox Brown, and this is my assistant, Mr. Lamb. We're both keen rhubarb eaters.
Oh, yes, indeed. You can't touch rhubarb. You can't touch it.
Can't stand the stuff myself. A very coarse plant, I always think.
Oh, I do agree, yes, absolutely.
The Rhubarb Marketing Board exists primarily to supervise the marketing of rhubarb.
By Jove.
In particular, we have to maintain the highest standards for the British product. We must ensure that anyone who buys British rhubarb knows what they're buying.
They'd hardly buy rhubarb by accident, would they?
Quite. And it's especially vital at this time when British rhubarb has to compete with rhubarb from Iron Curtain countries. What I might call,
Red rhubarb?
Exactly. It's essential, you see, that all British rhubarb is of standard length and thickness, and that no farmer uses dishonest tricks.
Dishonest tricks?
Like painting stale celery pink and so on.
Surely that's never happened, has it?
No, but it's the kind of thing we're constantly on our guard against. The present problem is standard, you see, and one particular farmer is being rather difficult. That's why the minister asked me to put you in the picture.
The minister? Oh, yes, of course.
Daniel Merridew. He has a farm in the West Country.
And he's giving you problems?
Oh, indeed he is. He's flouting our most basic rule, which is that all rhubarb should be cut and marketed at not more than 14 inches long. He grows, and you'll scarcely believe this, he actually grows his anything up to 16 inches.
Good Lord.
Oh, it's awful to think that there are people like that about.
So, I knew you'd be shocked. We wrote him several letters, of course, to which he didn't reply. And then 6 weeks ago, we sent one of our chaps from Bristol down to see him.
How did he get on?
We don't know. He never came back.
What? You mean there's been violence?
Oh, no, nothing as simple as that. The Bristol office got a letter from their man with his resignation, you see. Said he was starting a small holding and planned to grow rhubarb 2 feet long.
You mean he'd been got at?
A government servant going over to the enemy.
Well, of course, he was a provincial man, never entirely reliable from what I hear. Wore a polythene cover on his bowler hat.
It's one of those.
Yeah. Now, we feel we need top men on the job. We want you two to go and see Merridew.
Oh, go down and see him.
Go down and see him.
Go down and see him, yes. Well, could you tell us more about the fellow?
Old yokel, apparently, fancies himself as a rebel. Rather simple, I should think.
But you did say he wasn't violent.
Oh, I'm sure he isn't. Too long in the tooth for that.
Oh, well, in that case, we'd be glad to go, yes.
Yes.
Well, we'll soon get him to toe the line. Oh, my word, yes.
Oh, capital. Make him see that if he doesn't cooperate, the board will cut off his subsidy.
Oh, quite, yes. Right.
His farm's buried in the country, I'm afraid. The nearest station's a little place called Grinding Halt.
Well, the West Country should look marvellous at this time of the year. It'll be a chance to get a bit of sunshine.
I've not seen a better drop of rain since the floods of 1908. They picked the right day for their visit, Rebecca.
Oh, yeah. Who picked the right day for their visit, Dan?
Them fancy folk from London, the men from the ministry.
Oh.
Darned impudence. You saw their letter, didn't you?
Now, what time do you reckon they'll be here, then?
Well, there's only one train into Grinding Halt today, and that's 12 o'clock, so I reckon they'll be here about 5.
It don't take 5 hours for from the station, Dan, not no George's taxi.
Don't reckon old George will be running his taxi today, Rebecca.
What makes you think that, Dan?
Well, I happened to slip old George a little something to stay in bed today.
Oh, what little something did you happen to slip him, then?
2 ton of Swedes. Happened to slip off the back of me lorry while George were looking up me big end.
Then how will they Lunnon folk get here from the station?
Shanks' pony, I expect.
Oh, but in walking it don't take 5 hours from the station, Dan.
It do if you come by way of Wurzel Bottom.
But no one would come by way of Wurzel Bottom, Dan.
They would if signposts at crossroads got moved round in the night.
Oh, well, I suppose they'll get here in the end.
Ah, they'll get here in the end. It's getting away they'll likely find more difficult.
It's no use, man. I can't walk another step.
Nonsense, Stu. We're nearly there.
You must have come 10 miles.
Pull yourself together. Show a bit of spirit.
Well, it's all right for you, sitting in the wheelbarrow. No fun out here pushing.
Oh, don't fuss. We were lucky to find this wheelbarrow. Seems the only thing with wheels in the county.
I think it's a most undignified way for a ministry official to arrive.
As soon as we're near the farm, I'll get out. I don't mind a bit of walking, you say?
Well, you'd better start now. That's Sunnybrook Farm over there.
Ah, right. Well, then, if you'll just rest the wheelbarrow a moment.
I don't...
Wait a minute, I'm going to get out of it.
I don't think we'll get this muck off your trousers. Perhaps we should have cleaned the wheelbarrow before you got in.
Never mind that. Just open the gate and I'll lead the way. Then they'll know we mean business. Oh, hey. What was that?
Sounded like a shotgun.
But the fellow's not violent, according to Rudwell Wright.
Rudwell Wright could be Rudwell wrong.
Be you the men from the ministry?
Yes, we be. We are. And you can get 20 years for shooting a senior ministry official, or 12 for shooting my assistant here.
Oh, don't you bother about this old gun. I've been shooting rooks. Step into the yard here.
You see, too, you have to take a firm line with these people. You've got to put your foot down.
Yes, only mind what you're putting your foot down into.
Yeah. Oh. Now then, I take it you're the owner of this property, and your full name is Daniel Merridew?
Daniel Rex Merridew.
Rex?
That's right, sir. They do say as my old dad were hoping for a dog. Now, you come along inside and have a cup of tea.
Oh, shouldn't we go straight out and inspect the rhubarb before it gets dark?
Oh, bless you, no, sir. It gets dark very late in these parts, on account of the church clock being slow. You come along in. Never mind the tea. We'll have a little drink.
Oh.
Rebecca, bring in some of your rhubarb wine. Oh, now then, sit down, gentlemen. Ah, there you are, Rebecca. These are the fancy gentlemen from London.
Oh, as you do, I'm sure.
A nice drop of this will put airs on your chest. And part it down the middle. You got caught in that rainstorm, I'll be bound. I've never seen it come down so heavy.
It certainly did. Any worse than I'd have had to unfurl my umbrella.
Ah, there we are. Let's all drink up then. To rhubarb. The stuff that keeps you going.
Yes.
Oh, I say, this is really rather good, isn't it? Yeah.
It's what I'd call a cheeky little wine. Impudent without being downright rude. Yes, I will have some more if you positively insist.
That's right. Drink up, sir. There's plenty more. Rebecca puts down 20 gallons every year. And I drink quite a lot, too.
Thank you very much. Now, Mr. Merridew, the minister understands you've been growing rhubarb above regulation length.
Ah, well, now, we're simple country folk. We don't know about this measuring things. Left school at 11, I did. And I only started at 10.5.
Well, we try to forgive genuine ignorance, but you must realize that rules are rules.
There seem to be other breaches of rules, Mr. Merridew. As we arrived, I couldn't help noticing a large black bull looking out of an upstairs bedroom window.
Old Rufus. Let me pour you a drop more wine, sir. I can see you got the taste for it.
Of course, you won't find us unreasonable. If you play ball with us, we'll play ball with you. In that way, we can
All play ball together.
Exactly. We can all play ball together, yes. This rhubarb wine is most enjoyable, you know.
So old Fred said, why don't you turn the cow the other way round?
That's extremely amusing. I don't think...
Oh, my word, you're quite a raconteur, Mr. Merridew.
Fill up the glasses, Rebecca.
No, really, that's the 5th bottle. I mean, we...
Oh, don't he worry, sir. Very gentle, this rhubarb wine.
Really?
The burgess down the village, he drank 12 bottles last Michaelmas.
And didn't he wake up with a hangover?
Bless him, no, sir. Matter of fact, he never woke up at all. But he'd been poorly for years, with the crumbles, you know. Well, good health.
And your
very good.
Oh, good gracious, it's 8 o'clock. One, we must go out and look at the rhubarb.
No, sir, you don't want to break up the party yet. Just finish this bottle.
Tom Pierce, lend me thy grey mare.
All along me, I went for to go to we compare.
Bill Brewer,
Jan Stewart,
Peter Gurney,
Darwin,
Harry Hawk,
Alan Coach of Copley, Oh, I haven't enjoyed myself so much since that party we had at the end of the war. The Vietnam War, of course. Yes, we Londoners tend to lose touch with life's simple pleasures.
Well, you know, you put up with London at all. You don't have the fresh air. You don't wake up and hear the birds singing.
No, we sometimes wake up and hear the birds coughing.
I am a countryman at heart, descended from farming stock, you know. Gentlemen farmers, naturally.
Me too, as a matter of fact. My granny always lived close to the soil, because she had very short legs.
I've often thought of buying a little place in the country when I retire, a few chickens, a vegetable patch, breed race horses and so on.
But why wait till you retire? I know a nice little small holding going cheap right now.
One couldn't commute, you see. I mean, we're planning to axe this branch line.
Well, perhaps I brought it up too soon. Now, have another glass, and we'll talk about it later.
I hate to mention it, but it really is time we went out and looked at the farm.
Oh, bless you, so you can't go out now. 'Tis dark.
Dark? Oh, my word, so it is, yes. Do you realise it's 11 o'clock?
Oh, dear. We'll have to go off and come back tomorrow.
Never. Wouldn't hear of it. We can put you up here, can't we, Rebecca?
But we've got rooms at the village inn.
The ship will have locked up by now. You stay here. That's settled.
Well, what do you think, Joe? I mean, if we stay, we can get an early start and see the whole farm.
Well, I'm happy if you are one, as long as it's not the room with the bull.
Well, then we accept. Yes, we accept. And it's very hospitable of you, Mr. Merridew.
Very
Thank you.
hospitable.
Never mind the Merridew, just call me Dan. We're famous for our welcome here. They call me Dan, the hospitality man. Get some more bottles, Rebecca, and wind up the gramophone. We got a real party, eh?
Be quiet. That's better. I said be quiet. Oh, golly, where am I? Sue, why are you lying on the mantelpiece? Sue, wake up.
What's that? What? Where am I?
You're in the fireplace. What are we doing here?
Oh, dear, it's all coming back to me. The farm, the party. That chap Merridew put us up.
Oh, shut that window, for heaven's sake. Wretched bird shouting the place down. Oh, I feel terrible all my head. Oh. What's the time?
7 o'clock. Is it worth going to sleep again?
Only on condition I needn't wake up again. What were we drinking last night? Sheep dip?
Mrs. Merridew's rhubarb wine.
Rhubarb? Rhubarb? Oh, that rings a bell. We've got to sort out his rhubarb.
He kept holding us back when we wanted to go and inspect his crop.
The way I feel this morning, you won't know what hit him. Pass him a briefcase too, will you? I'll just check what penalties we can impose.
Here you are, man.
Now then, let's have a look. Form 101, output questionnaire. Hello? What's this?
What's what?
Looks like a bill of sale. By this deed, we, the undersigned, do purchase from Daniel Merridew that 30 acres of desirable land known as arid pastures. In consideration whereof, we shall pay the sum of £50,000. Signed, Deryck, Lennox Brown, Richard Lamb.
But that's us.
But these are our signatures, all right?
Yes.
Good grief. I vaguely recall signing something just before I passed out. I thought it was his autograph book.
Tear it up.
Well, that won't help, will it? Meridew's sure to have a copy.
He must have had it ready and waiting.
But don't you see? This is how he trapped that poor devil from the Bristol office.
But I can't afford £50,000. I'm still saving up for a new toothbrush.
Oh, don't worry. No court would uphold this contract. He may have fooled that Bristol fellow, but he won't fool me.
Got a good appetite this morning, Rebecca. Reckon I could take another 3 of they eggs.
Oh, here you are, then.
And just a couple more steaks. That's it. Right. Busy day today. Got to shoot them pigeons up top field, and then I got to shoot them rooks.
What about them men from the ministry?
May not need to shoot them after all. I reckon they'll shoot themselves when they see how the land lies. Chemist did them pictures nice and quick, then.
He did. Said he hadn't laughed so much since the vicar fell in the septic tank.
I think that'll settle they loobies from London. We'll have no more bother with that.
Well, then, Merridew.
Oh, morning, gentlemen. Hope you slept well.
No matter. What about this?
Arid pastures. Oh, you did well for yourselves there.
You can't enforce this agreement, and you know it.
Ah, bless you, sir. I wouldn't dream of forcing it. You don't want the place, you tear that up.
And furthermore, you should... Oh.
That sounds fair enough, man.
Of course, now your jobs in London are finished, you could do with a place to retire to.
What? What do you mean? We're not due to retire.
Our jobs in London aren't finished.
They will be when the newspapers get these pictures we took last night.
Pictures? What pictures?
At our little party. Oh, you two were so merry and friendly with all the drinking and laughing and that. We took a few photos for souvenirs.
Don't like the sound of this, too. Wish I could remember what happened last night.
Oh, I've got a good one of you, sir. Charging up and down, waving your brolly and shouting, "Forward the Light Brigade!"
Oh. Did I do that? Well, rather flamboyant, perhaps, but, it's not improper.
Not improper, no. But you looked a bit daft riding our old black sow.
I think I'll just sit down for a moment.
It's coming back to me, Ron. You did look rather comic. You were shouting tally-ho and trying to make the old sow jump over her trough. I remember it now.
You should. You was lying in the trough.
Oh, dear, was I?
That you were. Bailing out with your bowler hat and singing the Eton boating song. Oh, I got some good pictures of that.
Oh, well, I'd rather not see them, thank you.
Well, I doubt if the newspapers will feel the same way. I reckon they'll be very interested.
Oh, so that's it, is it? We buy your spare bit of land and keep quiet about the rhubarb, or you give the pictures to the papers.
Let's just call it blackmail. You think it over, gentlemen. Oh, and help yourself to breakfast. I'm afraid the eggs is gone, but there's some nice stewed rhubarb.
I'm a teensy-weensy bit perturbed. It's a week since Lennox, Brown and Lamb went down to see Merridew, and we've heard nothing. Are they back in their offices?
No. I rang their department this morning. Nothing's been seen or heard of them. Their girl's very worried.
Worried, is she?
Yes, it seems Lamb has the office teaspoon with him.
I don't like it, Miss Deeds. I shall go down there myself today with no advance warning this time.
Now, don't forget this afternoon's meeting of the marketing board. There are new proposals from the research people.
Oh, yes, they've made some breakthrough and they're putting us in the picture. Well, I'll go tomorrow then, first thing. Order a car for 11:30.
What are we going to do? We can't stay in this awful country pub forever.
Merridew gave us a week to make our decision, and I'm glad he did. It's given me time to think, too.
But you spent most of it reading that book you found in the bar.
And just as well. This book is going to solve our problem.
Really? May I see? Persuasion Pays People-Wise. What's it all about?
It's by a top American psychiatrist, Dr. Dwight Bright. He says you can get anyone to do anything if you put it the right way.
Pity you can't get him onto old Merridew.
Oh, I'm going to.
Oh?
His methods, anyway. I see now we adopted the wrong approach with Merridew. You adopted a belligerent manner, so he reacted. You triggered his hostility mechanism.
I never touched him.
Tonight, I'll talk to him the Dwight Bright way. Show him the rules are for his benefit. Point out that early cut rhubarb goes to market first when the price is higher.
Well, friends, that's the last of the rhubarb cut. All pink and pretty and regulation length.
Dan, your country is proud of you.
Oh, it does my heart good to hear that, sir. We pass this way but once, I say.
And with regard to this place, I say so too.
Thanks for the photographs, Dan. They're all in this envelope, are they?
That's right, sir. Now, you both have a good look round before you go. Check I'm not breaking any more rules and without knowing like. Must have everything like the government wants it. You showed me that last night, Helpy.
I'm sure we all learned a lot from each other.
I'll not forget that little rhyme you taught me. What sort of place would Britain be if we all grew rhubarb as long as me? Hello, could that be? Bit early for old George's taxi. I'd best go and see. Rebecca's out the back, drying off the tea bags.
I don't know what you were telling him till 4 o'clock this morning, but it certainly worked.
I appealed to his spirit of fair play, too.
Oh, yes.
And I also mentioned the probable spread of rhubarb rot in the area.
Is that why I was out all night painting white spots on the leaves?
Not so loud. The point is, his whole crop's stacked in neat 14-inch lengths, ready for market. Our job's done and everybody's happy.
There he is. Yes, this way, sir. Here they are.
Found you at last, you two. London's been very worried about you.
Well, we stayed on for a few days to sort out some problems. I think you'll be pleased with the results.
Well, it's a pity you missed yesterday's meeting of the marketing board. Our research chemists have found that longer rhubarb has more vitamins. So, guess what?
You tell us, Mr. Wright.
As from this morning, no rhubarb can be marketed less than 16 inches long. That will be good news for you, Mr. Merridew. Oh, Mr. Merridew, you've got a peculiar colour.
Damn and blasty! Rebecca, bring my gun!
No, steady, Dan, steady. Let's not be crude about this. Mr. Wright, I'm sure that you must be thirsty after your journey. Now, why not try a little of this very excellent rhubarb wine?
Oh, do you think I should? Sometimes after alcohol, I feel a little queer.
Not with this stuff. It's completely non-intoxicating.
You can drink gallons of it.
In fact, you probably will.
Oh, very well. And later on, you can put me in the picture.
In the picture? Oh, of course, yes. We'll certainly do that.
Yes, we'll get him in the picture.
Down on the farm, as the men from the ministry were Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. Also featured were Norma Ronald, Ronald Baddiley, and John Graham. The program was written and produced by Edward Taylor.